Big Ten football takes center stage in this video. Welcome to pregame.tv. We've got Michigan State in the big house to play Michigan, and right now Michigan State getting about 9.5 points, a total of 42.5. And Marco, the side of this battle is your free pick. You don't need to tell us who that is right now, but what we do have at Ann Arbor in this matchup is a couple of teams that have disappointed, at times highly disappointed so far this football season. You got the Michigan offense that's a one-man gang, no real shocker there, but then you've got Andrew Maxwell taking over as starting quarterback for Cousins this year to start the season, and I got to tell you, he has underwhelmed big time. He's been slow. He couldn't escape out of a wet paper bag with a blade in his hand right now. He's got a 6-4 touchdown to INT mark, just not getting it done from the quarterback position.
Definitely, Michigan State's been struggling offensively, but what they've been doing is the defense is keeping them in all the ball games, and they found a way to win most of their ball games, but they've lost 2 of the last 3. This is a big rivalry game, but when you think Michigan State, it's more of a rivalry for Michigan State because, Michigan, their rival is Ohio State. So, and Michigan State has won 4 in a row. So, Michigan's going to want to try to lay it on this team if they get the chance. But with this defense, I don't know if they can really get the separation. We'll see. The only 2 teams that have slowed Michigan down have been 2 very good defensive ball clubs, Alabama and Notre Dame.
And Brian, as Marco just said, Michigan State is on a 4-0 straight-up ATS run in this series, and went back when I was handicapping this game on Sunday night to look to see what the line was the last few seasons. It was 3, 5, 4, and 3.5. And now we're talking about a line that opened as high as 11. Do you see any value with this big line change from where it was the last 4 years? Now Michigan State, or I should say now Michigan down under 10 to 9.5, but still a little bit of a separation from where the line has been the last few seasons.
Yeah, everybody seems to be betting the dog in this one. In fact, I even saw a couple 9s before we came to the video shoot here. And I happen to think that Michigan is the much better team here. But Michigan State, in their FBS games, are only allowing 15 points per game. Michigan, we saw the first game against Alabama, they get blown out. But, the last 4 games have only allowed 39 points. You got 2 defenses right now. They're playing very good ball. And when you do lay double digits in what could be considered a low-scoring game, that's always a concern. But I'll let the money come in on Michigan State here. If I ever see a 7 or something in that close to that range, I think I'll lay the points.
70% of the ATS tickets written on this game at the time that we're shooting this video has been written on the underdog. 70% of the tickets, but yet the line has moved that way. I mean, normally when we talk about Sportsbook Spy on the first preview radio show, things of that nature, we'll talk about, like let's say 70, 75% are moving this way on this team, but the money's coming in on the other way. When they're in agreement, there's not as much of a win-loss situation going on for us guys who like to take advantage of that early value or late value, depending on when the game starts to move. But Marco, Michigan heads into this one 11-0, straight up, 7-3 against the spread over their last 11 home games as Brady Hoke returns Ann Arbor in the big house to a bit of a fortress. Not so easy to go in there and knock around the Michigan Wolverines with Hoke in charge.
Oh, no question about it. But, again, let's get back to that line. Michigan, if you stop the quarterback, this team, it's a different situation. They're not going to get the separation. I think you can do that with this Michigan State defense. I think they'll stay in the game. And the only team that scored more than 20 points on them was Indiana. And if you look at that game, that was the week immediately after the Ohio State game. That was a big game for Michigan State. They lose a heartbreaker 17-16. And I just don't think they were mentally prepared for Indiana. And it kind of put them in a funk the last 2 weeks. They will be primed and ready to play their rival.
And the Hoosiers have been scoring some points, by the way, also. All right, Marco, this is your free pick. Enough of the small talk. Let's get to it.
All right, for a rivalry of this nature, I feel this is too many points. This is a situation where everybody's looking at Michigan, especially the last 2 weeks. They've put up 44 and 45 points. Well, I'm sorry. Purdue and Illinois, that's not impressive. They're going to go against a real defense this week against Michigan State. Rivalry game, defensive dog, that's where I'm going to line up. I would have liked it better at 10. It's dipped under 9, under that, you're taking 9, but I still see this as a one-possession game. Look for the dog to stay in the fight. We're going to take them plus the points, take Michigan State as our free pick here.
Thanks, Marco. Marco D'Angelo says take the points with Michigan State. Sounds like great advice coming from Marco. And we're here all weekend long. 9 games that we're talking about in college football and the NFL. Stick around all weekend long right here at pregame.tv.